don't have an explanation for my outfit today, except that I felt like being bold and sassy. So black and white, and then I could have fun with the lip, and I did, and I discovered that I'm obsessed with this lip, and I only have one velour lip, and now I'm like really upset about it. So I went ahead and bought more because I love it. So I got them two reds. I know it sounds crazy to get, why would you get two reds? But sometimes you want a dark red and sometimes you want a bright red, and it depends on the mood. So I got two reds, and I have this gorgeous hot pink situation. So anyway, today I wanted to talk about, sorry, I'm making sure you're straight. Why did that? Anyway, I wanted to talk about all the tips and tricks that I know as, I'm missing things. Hold on a second, got it back. That I know as a well-traveled woman. So some of the things I'm going to talk about sound pretty obvious, and some of the other things might surprise you. The first thing I want to talk about, the first thing I kind of want to address is when you get your tickets, pretty much everyone knows this, but when you're buying tickets, try and buy them on a Tuesday. Generally, that is when you're going to get the best deals for tickets. And I like to buy my tickets probably about 2 to 3 months before I'm planning on going on this trip. I also will check to see if there's any changes in price. And when I look for plane tickets, I always look incognito, because these websites are looking to see who's interested in these flights and these destinations, and they will increase the price the more they see that these destinations are being researched. Yeah, looked up. So that's my tip for buying tickets. After that, I am a United Card member holder. I pay $100 a year for this card, and it is valuable to me if for nothing else, because I don't use checked bags. I would get 2 free checked bags with this card, but I'm not a checked bag girly. However, it also gives me 2 passes to the lounge, which you only get once a year, and almost always puts you in group 2. For me, as somebody that carries my carry-ons with me, it is very important to get onto the plane as soon as possible so I can make sure that I have my bags in the overhead storage or as close to me as possible, near going towards the front of the plane as opposed to the back of the plane, because it's easier to grab your bags when you're moving forward. You never want to go backwards. So Group 2 comes with that United Card holder. Something else that a lot of people don't know about, if you have global entry. Now, this is for the people who travel outside of the States. Global entry gets you back into the country, but there's almost always never a line. It's a little kiosk. You don't even need the card. I have a card. It's a little kiosk. It takes your picture. It recognizes who you are, and you walk out. It is that easy. I mean, amazing. Okay? So then, that's if you're traveling overseas. On top of that, global entry also grants you TSA. Now, here's something that I learned that has happened to me several times. Despite having global entry and TSA pre-check. TSA pre-check is important because you don't have to take any of your shoes off. You don't have to take your computer or any of your electronics out of your bag. It makes going through security so much easier. Also, in Newark, I have Clear. Clear is fantastic. Gets me through security. It's super, super easy. I never have to worry about it. And with having TSA pre-check, there is a separate line for regular Clear members and another line for Clear TSA pre-check. So that line, are you okay? Sorry, Suki's here. That line to get in through security is... You good? Okay. That line to get through security is even faster. So obviously, the sooner and quicker and faster you get through security, the better. The less stress you have to worry about catching your flight should something happen. So, clear, global entry, TSA pre-check, make sure you have that. Also, make sure that you have a card that can give you benefits for flying. This is important. All of these things are important if you are a person who travels often. And I travel several times a year, so these things are very valuable to me to have. Now, there is no clear in all the airports in this country, and there is no clear in any other country but the US. So having that only benefits you here. Global entry benefits you when you are coming back into this country. You don't have to worry about the long lines at customs or passport control or anything like that. It's amazing. When I came back, both hubby and I have global entry. The regular line was zigzagged all the way through the whole airport. We just literally walked up to a kiosk and walked out. It was so easy and so fantastic, especially when you have global entry and it gives you the TSA pre-check, which is such a big deal too, because even if you don't have clear, you get into a separate line for TSA pre-check, and generally that is somewhat shorter, hopefully, if you're lucky. And the fact that you don't have to take your shoes off or take any of your electronics out of the bag is ideal and does make going through security much faster and much easier. Something's wrong with this thing. Anyway, going through security is obviously super important. It's something you have to do, and making that process easier is always ideal. So make sure you have all those things to make traveling as easy and simple as possible. Now, if you're traveling outside of the States, you're going to need a passport. Make sure that your passport is good for, if your passport is going to expire within the next 3 months, you cannot use it. They will not let you into the country, and they will not let you get onto the plane to leave this country and into that country. You have to have a passport that is good, that doesn't expire for at least 4 to 5 or 6 months on. My suggestion is, if it is the year your passport is going to expire, just get a new one. As soon as you see that your passport will expire that year, put it in your calendar, whatever, put it in, get a new passport. Passports are good for many years, so it's generally something we don't think about or even consider. So just make sure that your expiration date is good for longer than 4 months. Otherwise, you're not leaving this country to go to another one. Now, my grandmother was born in Ireland, and so my father got his passport, his Irish passport, and through my father, I got my Irish passport, which means I also have an Irish passport, which makes me technically an EU citizen. However, I noticed sometimes you can get through the lines in Europe faster if you have an EU passport. So, anything that's Ireland, France, Germany, Italy, any of those EU countries, you can go through an EU country passport line as long as you have that passport. Now, when I generally don't like to bring 2 passports, so I'll just bring my one, which is my American passport. What I noticed, though, was this year, the EU citizen passport lines were crazy. I mean, so long. So for the first time in my experience of having both of these passports, having an American passport was actually more beneficial than having the EU passport, and I was able to get through all the lines way faster than even the citizens of that country. So that was a huge deal and so weird and different from what I was used to from years prior. Now, you don't have to have an EU passport or dual citizenship to travel. I just think it is important for me, as somebody who does travel a lot, being able to be an EU citizen and having the option or opportunity to live in an EU country with less red tape, say, than somebody who might be an immigrant into another country, I think is beneficial. So if you have any family that maybe was born and still can get their citizenship, you can have, it could be a country that will allow you to have dual citizenship, definitely get it. My mom has been working on getting her Italian citizenship, and if she can get it, I definitely want to get mine as well. I just think it is very important to have these opportunities. I know from my experience, the quality of life in living in different countries, even if it was just for a month, is definitely different. And in a lot of ways, for me, it feels amazing and better, but also there are a lot of conveniences living in the States that you don't have in Europe. Or for me specifically, in rural Sicily, there's a lot of things that I don't get. There's no next day shipping for Amazon Prime there. They do have Amazon Prime, but in Sicily, you have to wait several days, maybe a week or two before your stuff shows up. But lately, actually, it hasn't been that long. It's been like 3 or 4 days, which is such a huge difference from what it used to be. So while the world is still so very big, in terms of conveniences, things are starting to expand and get exciting and more obtainable, even in rural Sicily, which is huge and super exciting. They're also building a brand new highway into the parts where we live, which is also very exciting because that might cut our hour and a half trip to Catania or Taormina from, 90 minutes to potentially less than an hour, 45 minutes, which is such a huge deal and very, very exciting. So, but that's just an aside when it comes to Italy and all the things that are making it more enjoyable to live there, and things are getting more accessible. It's just a very exciting time in terms of being an immigrant in these EU countries with the privileges you're used to here in America are starting to become more available and available in even rural Sicily. So that's a huge deal. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is VAT. VAT is VAT. That is basically where you would go to a specific kiosk, meet somebody, and they will count all your receipts, and hopefully you can get some money back from all the taxes you paid, but will not benefit because you don't live in said country. Here's the trick that I sillily was not aware of. So you can have all the receipts, but if you don't have the form for the VAT with every single receipt, they are not going to accept them. So when you go shopping in Europe, make sure to ask them for the VAT form so that you can make sure that it can be verified and stamped so that you can get your money back. In Italy, the VAT tax is 22%. It is a lot. So that's for everything that you are shopping for, food, when you go out to eat, restaurants, stuff like that, when you go shopping for clothes or anything, 22% is added to that. Now, when you see prices, it's already calculated into whatever it is that you're buying. So say you're getting a shirt for $5 or €5, you're not going to pay any more. It's not going to be like €5 plus 22% tax. It's already included in that €5. So in that regard, you know exactly what you're going to be paying. But what's nice about the receipts is that it does break it down and show you what the breakdown is for each of the things that you're buying and how much VAT, how much tax you did pay in your purchase. But just make sure, you can't get it with restaurants or grocery shopping or anything like that. But if you're buying goods, say like jewelry, like my Swarovski bracelet that mom got me for my birthday, any Zara clothes that you might have, any store shopping for clothing, for goods, all right? If you're buying that kind of stuff, make sure you ask for the VAT form so that when you go to VAT, you can get it approved and get your 22% tax back. In addition to that, I'm going to tell you all about when it comes to FCO, Fiumicino, the Rome airport. There are several places where VAT is available, but you can only go to the one where your terminal is. So there is a VAT kiosk for ITA, which is the Italy Airlines. But if you're flying United, you're not leaving from Terminal 1 where the ITA VAT is. You're going to be leaving from Terminal 3. Terminal 3 is where you would have to go for that VAT location, and you cannot go to the Terminal 1 VAT location. You have to go to Terminal 3 because that is where you're leaving from. Why? I don't know. There's a whole bunch of bureaucracy that comes with it. The other part of that is you cannot get your VAT if it is more than 4 hours before your flight. So if you, like Sean and I, are there the night before because you have to catch the next flight and that's the only way, and you go to VAT the night before your flight, you're not going to be able to do it. You have to do it 4 hours before your flight. Otherwise, they're not going to help you. It's just, I don't know why it's the way it is, but that's the way it is. It's frustrating and annoying. They also will not tell you if you're there early. They will not tell you that you have to go to the terminal that you're leaving from until it is 4 hours before your flight. Why? I don't know. I guess just more bureaucracy or whatever. It was just like, how hard was it? Anyway, get your form for every purchase for goods, clothing, jewelry, anything like that, bags, anything like that, because people buy Prada and all those high-end things. Get your form, your VAT form, and make sure you go to the terminal that you are leaving from to process your VAT money back. If you're flying United, that's Terminal 3. If you're flying ITA, that's Terminal 1. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, I just wanted to do a quick little episode today. I just wanted to share some tips and tricks that I learned, and also just, when it comes to flights, there are just things that will make your life so much easier. That's just kind of the first layer of stuff. I mean, generally, you already know, I don't do checked bags. I do carry-ons. That's another tip and trick because you can have your stuff with you at all times. And snack bag, they won't give you ish about that, so you can have a little snack bag without taking up any space in your 2 carry-ons, that whole situation. I'm just saying, I barely scratched the surface when it comes to tips and tricks, but I wanted to do a quick little video today. I'm still recovering from jet lag, so I hope you will bear with me. If you're wondering what's behind me, yes, it is my dress that I got in Taormina. I do plan on doing an Italy outfit dress clothing haul next week, so I have everything all together right now, and yeah, so that's what's going on. But anyway, I hope this helped. If you have any questions about global entry, if you have any questions about Clear, if you have any questions about TSA pre-check, and what happens if it doesn't show up on your ticket, because that happens to me a lot, because for whatever reason it'll kick me off despite me having global entry and a global entry card to prove that, because if you have global entry you automatically get TSA pre-check. To prove that I have it, they still won't accept it. It has to be on your boarding pass. You have to go to where they check bags and get it reprinted and put in all your information all over again. However, even though your global entry card is basically useless when it comes to proving that you have TSA PreCheck, the number, your TSA PreCheck number, is on that card. So with your passport, I have a passport holder. Make sure that you have your global entry card. I also have a passport card. I have never needed to use it. I don't know really what it's for yet. And I also have my vaccination cards in there as well, just in case, so it is, having a little passport holder is incredibly helpful because you can carry all these things. Plus you can have a pen in there. It's a great thing to have. So there's another tip and trick, but you have to go to the checked baggage area and print out a whole new thing and import your global entry card number so that the TSA PreCheck shows up on your boarding pass, and then and only then will they allow you to go through TSA PreCheck. Why? I don't know. It is what it is, I guess, because despite having all the technology in the world, for whatever reason, it'll kick you off of it in your boarding pass, or your proof to having it just isn't good enough. They have to have it on the pass or it's pointless. It's just, I have a lot of issues with traveling because things could be so much easier, if people just use common sense. But I digress. Block mine. So, Suki and I just wanted to say ciao. I love you. You're so good. And thank you so much for spending, I hope you could hear me. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope these tips and tricks were helpful. If you have any questions about anything, please leave me a comment down below. If you have questions about, what I think would be the most valuable thing of all the things that I suggested, let me know what you think. I will be happy to answer any questions. I can also address it in another video if you're interested in learning more. Just let me know. But yeah, I'm gonna go relax because I'm, like I said, still recovering from jet lag. So I hope you give me some grace. Next week, I promise we are going into all our regularly scheduled stuff. We're gonna talk, let's talk fashion, and we're gonna talk about the fashion in buying in Europe versus buying in the States and where the taxes fit into all that. We're gonna talk about how I did my makeup every day in Italy and travel makeup and how that works for me. Maybe we could do it together. And we're also going to do all the things, my little shopping haul in Italy. It's gonna be a fun week next week, so stay tuned. But the rest of this week is pretty much going to be relaxed, and I'm just gonna enjoy myself, have a little fun, and yeah, anyway. I hope you had an amazing day. We made it past 2,000 subscribers, so maybe we'll celebrate this weekend. We'll see. I'm very excited. I'm very happy. Thank you for being here on this journey with me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Until next time.